I'm Jonathan Lee. I'm a creative director at Google, and I work on the material design team. So we've been working on the rebranding project with our creative partners within the company, making sure that we can communicate to users on mobile that they were using Google. The current design previous to this was actually not including all the different colors that represent Google, and so that was really one of the major drivers for even getting together and saying, hey, something's not quite working as well as it could. So the colors are kind of like something that you inherit. You know, classic brands always have this kind of classic color that's kind of steeped in the psyche of their users or of their audience. And we wanted to continue the playful multicolors, the kind of primary colors that the original Google logo had in the new mark. Redesigns at scale are always challenging. I'd say that we hire very, very talented people, and that causes for very, very intelligent work to be made. And then, of course, it's challenging to navigate when people disagree about things. But I think that overall, the process strangely went really well because of some long-standing relationships across the different teams. I've been at Google for about 4.5 years now. The Google culture is a very, very special culture. It comes from, I believe, when the company was founded, and this idea that our culture can be both playful and serious at the same time. You can see that in our mark as well, and kind of all the brand things that we've been doing. So I would say that Google does have its quirks, but they do take care of their employees really well. And it is actually kind of a fun experience to kind of be taken care of in such a holistic way. The serif typeface really served us well, and it's actually something that we're not just jettisoning. The sans serif is actually just a step forward in terms of modernity and in the space and the way that people perceive technology brands. And I would also say that it's a little bit simpler, a little bit less fussy, and I believe that as a company we need to become simpler so that we can handle more complex problems. The new Google G is actually part of simplifying the understanding of what our brand was. Before, with the serif Google logo type and the little lowercase serif G, you actually didn't really connect the double story G with the Google logo very well. What we're doing now is actually, again, simplifying and saying, okay, it's the same G as the Google logo type, the first cap letter, but it's actually taking on those 4 colors. And so we're really trying to evoke one system, or each thing being a state of all the different pieces. Design in-house tends to be less formal than as an agency or as a kind of studio of designers. You end up kind of using relationships and having conversations about things that kind of emerge, and less kind of like, here's a presentation, well now you need to change all of these things, okay, and then now here's the update, and it's less a kind of back and forth and more of like an ongoing conversation. So the 4 principles of the redesign from my perspective are that the new logo system had to work in reduction, so it has to work when it's small. We were hoping to inject the kind of the life and expression of motion into the system. It was also important to us that it was systematic and that the 3 parts, the dots, the Google logo type and the Google G, felt like they were separate states of the same thing. And then finally, the 4th is that it still had to feel like Google. It couldn't be such a departure that no one recognized us anymore. So the Google Design outreach effort has started up to kind of connect designers and their stories from within Google to the designers outside of Google. And so it's not actually, I can't speak for whether it's the company's first kind of educational outreach effort, but as an outreach effort, Google Design has been really useful in kind of dimensionalizing the way we talk about design. So for example, we have a design spec that has a kind of complicated technical way of explaining how to use color in your applications. And by having Google Design as a hub, we can actually create an article or maybe a video that connects the kind of specifications to like practical knowledge. So we tend to publish all of our resources under the most open licenses that we can. So all of those icons that we published in the Material Design Icon Library are actually available for download. If you go, you can search and download different file formats that you need. And there's an open source license that allows you to use them in your projects. Working for Google has been a wonderful experience for me because I feel like as a designer, I can really influence and ship literally my ideas to a lot of people. And I think that we can really help the world and actually make the world a more interesting place through design at Google, and that's why I'm there.